One day I received an email. The email was from a woman who said, "Nija, do you offer coaching sessions?" Now, I had never offered coaching sessions. I never said that I was a coach. I never posed myself as a coach, you know. In my head, I'm thinking, what authority does this woman think that I have to teach her anything? Coaching is probably the first way that I started making money on the internet. Before that, this was not even a thought, okay? So I was like, oh my God, she sent me the money. She really sent me the money. Okay, now we actually have to host this session. Within the next few days, we had our first session, or I had my first coaching session. How I accidentally became a life coach. I did not have a certification. I did not have a coaching website. I did not even have an email list, but still I was able to get my first client. And today I'm going to teach you how you too can become a life coach, and that you really don't need all the things that you think you need. So I'm going to share my story in hopes that it will help inspire you guys. If you have an inkling inside of you that you think you might want to be a life coach, then this video is going to be perfect for you. All right, I have some notes. If you see me looking down, I'm trying to keep us on track. I just want to say, guys, I started my coaching practice. I started being a life coach as a 20-year-old. I was broke, okay? I was helping women who were 10 years plus older than me. So if I can do it with no certification, no business training or anything like that, I absolutely believe you can do it too. Okay, I want to get started by saying I never intended to be a life coach. In hindsight, I can see how this was the perfect thing for me, but you really don't need you don't even need a college degree really to be a life coach. And I'll tell you guys the things that you do need if you want to get started really fast. Okay, so here's my story. I started out making YouTube videos when I was in high school. I was probably a freshman in high school, and I was just making random videos. I believe the very first YouTube video I ever made was about being in a long distance relationship, because at the time I was in a long distance relationship. And then I made a video about going through a breakup in high school, you know, just like little I would call it little kid stuff, you know. Like, I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel. Just for fun, just because that was like the hype thing back then, right? All the young people were like, bump having a career, I want to make YouTube videos. And so that's what I did. I started making YouTube videos about random things that I found interesting. I would do trends like what's in my purse, or I would make hair videos. I remember when I went to college, I did a big chop, so I recorded myself cutting off all my hair. Like, just really random videos. Was definitely not strategic whatsoever about my YouTube channel. But little did I know, me having a YouTube channel was going to help me to create my own personal brand, and then later a business, and make me lots and lots of money. Okay, so I was making YouTube videos. We're gonna fast forward a few years, because guys, I literally was just throwing videos out into YouTube land, not expecting my channel to grow, not expecting anyone to watch me, not expecting anybody to get anything out of what I'm saying. It was just like an outlet, and I really enjoyed it. So fast forward to I started making videos about femininity and how to take care of yourself and how to plan the life that you want, right? So I was making videos that were kind of like inspirational, definitely catered towards women, and that is when my YouTube channel finally started to grow very incrementally. Guys, I've had my YouTube channel for probably like over 10 years now, maybe even 15 years now. You guys can see now I've got over 500 something videos, but at the time I had a very small channel. I mean, for posting maybe 4 or 5 years, I probably only had 3,000 subscribers. These days people can rack up 3,000 subscribers really quickly. But just letting you guys know this, because you do not need to have a huge channel to grow your coaching business or to even start a coaching business. So I was just making random videos about femininity, how to take care of yourself, how to have standards, creating boundaries, and all these things. And one day I received an email. The email was from a woman who said, "Nija, do you offer coaching sessions?" Now, I had never offered coaching sessions. I never said that I was a coach. I never posed myself as a coach, you know. In my head, I'm thinking, what authority does this woman think that I have to teach her anything? And so I let the email sit in my inbox for maybe a few days, and I just thought about it. And in my head, I was like, okay, well, I've got to respond. I have to tell her, no, sorry, I'm not a coach, or no, sorry, I've never done that before, you know. But after a few days of just thinking about it, I decided, you know what? She's been watching my YouTube channel. Clearly she thinks that I am an authority in something, or she wouldn't have emailed me and asked me to help her. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to message back and tell her, yeah, sure, we can sit down for an hour. Mind you, didn't have a certification, never did a coaching session in my entire life, didn't have a coaching website, didn't even have an email list. The way that she got my email is because I think that back then I would just copy and paste my description box under all my videos, and in my description box it just had all my social media handles, and then underneath it said, for sponsorship or business collaboration, email this email. So she found that email in the description box of my video and emailed me. And like I said, after a few days, I said, you know what, clearly she thinks that I am capable of helping her, so let me just email her back and see what she has to say. So I said, yeah, sure, I don't mind sitting down for an hour and helping you. She said, okay, great, how much do you charge? I had never, I don't believe up until this point, received money online for doing anything. Now that I think about it, coaching is probably the first way that I started making money on the internet. Before that, this was not even a thought, okay? So clearly this was not my plan, my idea, or anything like this. This was just, you know, something that I guess it was destiny. So I didn't know how much to charge. And like I said, at the time I was a broke 20-something-year-old. So I said, you know, maybe $100. And then I was like, well, I want to make the number pretty. So I said $111 for an hour. And I emailed her. And she said, done, immediately. And she said, can you send me over the invoice? I was like, oh my god, I've never made an invoice before. Okay, hold on, let me figure out how to make an invoice. So at the time, the only way that I could think about receiving money was through PayPal. Yeah, we're going back. So at the time I knew I had a PayPal, and in fact I think maybe at the time I had, like, you know how you can like receive, people can like buy you a coffee kind of thing, like where you can like donate $5 to somebody. So I did have that set up, and so I was like, you know what, let me see if I can create an invoice with my PayPal. So I created a quick little invoice. All I did was copy and pasted her email in the invoice, and I wrote down $111 for 1 hour coaching session. Boom. Sent it to her, and she paid me back immediately. So I was like, oh my god, she sent me the money. She really sent me the money. Okay, now we actually have to host this session. Mind you, I had no idea how you host a coaching session. We're obviously not in person. So I'm like doing research. How can I have a video call? Should I FaceTime her? I don't really know if I feel comfortable giving her my phone number. What are we gonna do? How am I gonna host this call? So we ended up, after doing a little bit of research very quickly, because I think she was expecting that coaching session to happen pretty quickly, I found out that I could host completely free sessions on Zoom. For 40 minutes, you can do a free session. So that's what I did. I signed up for Zoom, and I emailed her the Zoom link. I asked her, hey, what day and time would be okay with you? She told me when she was available. I didn't have anything going on. So of course, whenever she said she was ready, I was ready. Within the next few days, we had our first session, or I had my first coaching session. And guys, I was petrified, because one, I didn't know this woman. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what she knew about me. I was like, oh my god, am I about to get exposed? Is this about to be the worst experience of her life? So, you know, at the time, I didn't know how to structure a coaching call. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew that I was doing was just showing up and trying to be of service. So, yeah, on the very first coaching call, she told me a little bit about herself, a little bit about her life, and then I asked her this golden question. If you're trying to be a coach, this is a golden question. If you have no idea how to be a coach, this is a golden question. I remember in our session after she told me a little bit about herself, and you really have to direct these conversations, because if not, people will just tell you their whole life story, and then by the end of it, you really haven't gotten anything accomplished. Remember, you're a coach, not a therapist, so they shouldn't be reaching out to you to have a therapy session and talk about all the trauma in their life. Instead, as a coach, you are there to help, to assist them to achieve something, to accomplish something, right? You're just adding fuel to their fire so that they can achieve something, accomplish something. So I asked her this golden question. What are you hoping to get out of this call today? Golden question, okay? If you do not know how to coach, how to be a coach, please start your call with this question. What are you hoping to get out of this session? That was everything I needed. That was the only thing I needed. What she said following that question was exactly what we ended up working on. And I believe she just needed clarity on how to organize her life. And that's exactly what we did. And so I didn't need to be an expert coach. I didn't need to have 10 years of life coaching experience under my belt. But the thing that I did have was I was a good listener. I knew how to listen to people. I knew how to make them feel heard and feel seen and feel understood. And not only that, I was really great at creating a strategy based on what they told me on how to move forward. I was really great at creating action plans for the people that I helped. And so we essentially did that. 1 hour went by super fast. She told me what she wanted. I helped to give her clarity. At the end of the session, I used to do these things called session write-ups, where essentially I just reiterated everything that we talked about in the session, and then underneath I created her an action plan so that she can actually take steps towards doing what she said she wanted to do. I emailed it back to her, and you guys, that session went so amazingly that she actually asked me if I could meet with her again. And again, we probably had about 3 or 4 coaching sessions. And then after that, she said, you know what, Nija, I have some really good girlfriends and I've been telling them about how amazing these sessions are and they want to work with you too. Would you be willing to work with them also? You guys. Okay, I'm going from somebody who's never coached before, had only ever had experience in making YouTube videos talking about things that I found interesting or entertaining, going from that to booking my first client. My client had so many breakthroughs and had such a good time that she's now telling her friends and family about working with me, and now they want to work with me too. And so that's exactly what happened. From that one client that I got from YouTube, again, not even intentional, didn't have an email list, website certification, any of that. I went from having one client to like, I think 5 or 6 clients. She referred a lot of her friends to me and they paid for sessions. So yeah, I was doing these coaching calls, I was doing these sessions with these girls, and then finally, after about the 2nd or 3rd person, I said, you know what, I should probably create a system to get these clients, because right now I'm getting a lot of word of mouth. It's going really well, it's going amazing, but you know, let's scale this. How can I scale this? And I thought, you know what, maybe I can create like a website or a landing page or something, just so, you know, for people who don't know me and who don't watch my YouTube videos, they can scan through the page and decide that if I'm gonna be a good fit for them or not. So that's essentially what happened. That's how I got my first coaching client, and not only the first, that's probably how I got my first 8 to 10 clients, all by word of mouth. No infrastructure or anything like that. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you guys about how you can do the same thing. And I want to do a quick side tangent, guys, because learning that I could make money online simply by doing Zoom calls completely changed my life. It changed the way that I viewed money. Being a coach was the easiest money that I've ever made in my life. And this is not to say that coaching is, you know, really easy or there's no effort involved. There is skill set involved with being a coach. But if you're somebody like me, certain things come natural to you. Being empathetic, being a good listener, being a good soundboard, listening to something that somebody says and regurgitating it back to them in a way that they understand. These are very high quality skills, okay? And so the moment that really just made me feel really good on the inside is I was doing a cross-country road trip with my girlfriends. The vlog is actually here on my YouTube channel, and we were going to LA, and 2 of my clients actually live in LA. And so I just messaged them and I was like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm gonna be in your neck of the woods for maybe about a week. If you want to meet up with me in person, like, we should definitely do that. And they both were like, absolutely, I need to meet you. I need to meet my coach. I need to meet the person that I've been talking to over the internet for these past few years. So yeah, when I went to LA, I met up with my clients. I had dinner with one with my girlfriends, and then the other one, she was like, Nija, since you're gonna be in town, can we do a session in person? And I was like, oh my god, this is my very first coaching session in person. Absolutely. Each other's company.
She is real.
I know.
Oh my god, how long time we met online?
It's been like 2 years now, no?
I think 3 years probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Cute place. That's adorable here.
Doing our coaching sessions, having some champagne. It's a really good experience. I'm really loving this.
Camilla and I just finished our session. It was so much fun. I feel like I learned so much. I learned so much from you.
And I had so much clarity from this one. Her coaching's definitely worth. That is an investment. You have to book her as a coach.
I love it. Thank you, Camilla. And we went to this really bougie, upscale, like cute little lounge place, and we ordered food and we were drinking champagne, and we had a coaching session. And guys, this was probably one of the best moments of my life. I mean, that trip was one of the best trips of my life, but being able to go from making YouTube videos to coaching people that I don't even know, to now meeting with them in person in these beautiful, luxurious places, drinking champagne and offering my medicine, which is coaching, this was the greatest thing to ever happen to me. So saying all that to say, you do not need a certification, website, email list, or all of the other things that we think that we need to get started with coaching. Hey guys, this is edited Nija. I'm editing this video right now, and I just want to clarify one thing. You do not need a life coaching certification to life coach. You don't. There is a certification that you can take. A lot of times it helps you to feel more confident as a coach. It is essentially like interpersonal life skills and things of that nature. There is a certification. It is not required. Legally, you can be a life coach without going through the certification. Again, it is just to help you. But I also want to give the disclaimer, if you are trying to be like a health coach or a medicine coach, anything related to that, there may be qualifications required based on what you are trying to coach at. So like, for example, if you're giving people health and nutrition advice, maybe you would need to be certified in something like that. If you are a fitness coach, maybe you would want to get your fitness coaching license or certification. So I wanted to give that little disclaimer because you know, if you're dealing with people's health and wellness, for example, if they, you know, have cancer or something like that, and you're trying to coach them through it holistically, you might need certain certifications based on what it is that you're trying to help somebody with. So putting that out there to say, I am not encouraging anybody to impersonate a doctor or to impersonate a legal professional or anything of that nature. You do not need a life coaching certification to life coach or even to begin life coaching. It might be something that you want under your belt, or that you want to get your certification so that you can be more reputable. That is completely fine, but it is not required. But please don't go impersonating a doctor or, you know, a healthcare professional or anything like that. Okay, we are in the business of serving people, not hurting people, and so you know if you need a certification for what it is that you're trying to teach. That as far as basic life coaching goes, it is not required. Okay. back to the video. And now I'm going to tell you guys exactly how you can get started with coaching just the way I did, without all the infrastructure and all the things that you think you need to do. You can get started coaching right now if that's what you want to do. So I have notes. Let's talk about it. What I learned, I want to share this first before I tell you guys what to do. This is what I learned from my experience of accidentally becoming a coach. Being a coach is about serving others, okay? That's really the only skill set. Are you willing and able to serve somebody else? Okay, so that looks like being a soundboard for somebody, being able to organize their thoughts, offering them clarity with all the brain jumble that they have inside their head. Are you able to be of service to others? Are you willing to be of service to others? If the answer is yes, you too can be a coach. I realized that my ability to listen and make somebody feel seen was my gift. Sometimes our gifts are so innate to us, we don't even see them as gifts, because you're like, I've been doing that since I was a baby, I've been doing that since I was a kid, you know, like that's nothing special, everybody can do that. But the truth is, everybody can't do that. Everybody cannot be a coach, because maybe, you know, they have their own stuff going on in their life and they don't have the capacity to hold space for somebody else, or maybe they're not a good listener, or maybe the way they deliver things is too harsh, right? So everybody cannot be a coach. But if you have particular skill sets, you might be perfect for the job. All right. And so utilize your gifts in your coaching practice if you desire to become a coach. Okay, I had been doing this my entire life and never saw it as valuable. I never thought that people would find value in the things that I just naturally was good at. Okay, and so something else that I had to realize was that I helped women gain clarity. Okay, something about being able to sit down and talk to me made people feel like they were in control of their future, made them feel like they are on a trajectory to create their dream life. Okay, so I was able to sit down and hold space with somebody, and by the end of the conversation they really felt confident that they could go out and achieve their goals. That is invaluable. That's an invaluable skill set. Okay, so here's what I would recommend you do if you want to start your own coaching practice. Okay, the very first thing is identify your medicine. Are you a good listener? Do you know how to do something that others don't know how to do? And remember, you do not have to be better than everybody else. You just have to be one step ahead of the person that you're helping, whatever it is that you're helping them with. Okay, so ask yourself, what problem do I naturally solve? This could also be a skill set that you have that you want to leverage. For example, if you were like really overweight once in your life and you were able to lose a bunch of weight, and not only did you lose a bunch of weight, but you feel like you can teach other people how to do the same thing, you are an expert in that world. You can help somebody else who was like you do the same thing. Or you know, maybe you went to school as a nurse for, I don't know how long people go to nursing school, and maybe you don't necessarily want to work in the nursing field, but you have accumulated so much knowledge and insight from the industry that now you can help other people who are in nursing school study for their exams, or whatever it is that you want to help them with. So one, identify your medicine. Are you a good listener? Is there a skill set that you're going to leverage? What is your medicine? How do you help people? That's number one. Okay, number two is, what outcome can you create? So you guys have to remember that you're not selling coaching sessions, you're selling a result. People want the transformation, right? And so if you're only going into coaching thinking that, okay, all we need to do is just host this 1 hour session and boom, we've done it. Absolutely not. People don't pay for coaching sessions, they pay for transformation. So how long will it take you to get that transformation? This is what you need to know. Okay, the next thing is, you need to not be afraid to be seen. You have to be willing to be seen. And this was like the very first rule in, you know, when I started coaching. The only reason why I was able to get that one girl out of probably 3,000 people who follow me on YouTube. I never mentioned anything about being a coach or anything like that, but because I was willing to be seen, because I had an online presence, people were able to, one, see me as an authority, and two, want to work with me. And so if you want to be a coach, you cannot be afraid to be seen. Even if you're only doing one-on-one coaching, so you think, oh, well, I only have to show up for one person. You're wrong. You have to show up for absolutely every person who is your dream client. And we're not convincing, but we are using our free content as foreplay to get them into the coaching session. And so you have to be willing to be seen. And this is not just for if you want to be a coach. This is if you want to have an online business in general. If you want to make money in life, you have to be willing to be seen. People who are afraid to be seen don't make money, okay? And so you can't help anyone while you're hiding. So you need to choose what platform that you want to show up in. And I say this because this is the digital age. The easiest way to get clients is to be on social media, okay? This is how I did it. I was just on YouTube. I had an Instagram, but I wasn't posting consistently on Instagram, wasn't posting consistently on Twitter, right? So choose one platform that you're going to show up on consistently, and then you have to actually show up, okay? Provide value as if your dream client was already watching. Okay, so whatever you want to help somebody with, you need to start creating content. You need to start being seen so that you can create your authority, and so that your potential customers, your potential clients will see you and want to work with you. The fourth thing I would suggest is your story is your authority. And so in these videos I was posting online, I was just sharing about myself. I was sharing about my life. I was sharing about my experiences. And you know, that resonated with people. And so your story is your authority. Whether you went through something traumatic in life and you had to overcome it, your story is your authority. I remember back then I was making videos about like going through a breakup, or you know, like how I'm maneuvering my relationship as it's falling apart, or whatever I was talking about. Because I was willing to be vulnerable and share my life experience and how I overcame it, that helped me to build credibility. That helped me to build authority, okay? So your story is your authority. And number 5, you need to create an offer. Just saying that you want to be a life coach is not an offer. You need to create an offer. And so the ladies that I help in Dream Life Academy, when I tell them, or when they tell me that they want to start making money online, I say, okay, well, what is your offer? Make a 1-page PDF explaining what your offer is. This 1-page PDF should say who you help, the price of what you help, or the price of how much your thing is, and then explain in detail what you're offering, okay? 1-page PDF explaining your offer. This is going to be really helpful to you because 1, you're going to have a million different ideas and it might change over time, but you need to always be very clear about what your offer is. And 2, I suggest that you make your 1-page PDF of your offer, because if someone were to email you right now today and say, hey, I want to coach with you, what do you offer? You could email them that PDF very quickly and easily, and it explains everything. You don't even need a landing page to sell your offer. You don't even need a website to sell your offer. If you are clear on the offer, and if you are able to articulate to somebody else what the offer is, that is all you need to make money, okay? So do a 1-page PDF of how you help people, what the price is, and who it's for. That's really important as well. On that PDF, write who this offer is for, because we're not trying to help everybody. There is a specific type of person who you are wanting to help. All right, so after you create that 1-page PDF, this is going to be your anchor. As long as you know what your offer is, you're anchored. Okay, so the next thing is you want to start telling your audience about your offer. Not just once, in every post. Now that you are on a particular social media platform, now that you know what your offer is, every single time you show up on that platform, I want you to share your offer. Now, you guys have seen lots of people do this, so you know exactly what this looks like. This looks like at the end of your video, or even halfway through your video, if you choose to do YouTube, for example, you're just going to say, if you guys are getting a lot of value from this, I offer X, Y, and Z. You can check the link out in the description box below if you want to work with me. That is your CTA. CTA is call to action. From now on, every time you make content, you need to have a CTA, call to action, which means you are telling the person who's watching you what you want them to do. So if you are able to inspire them through whatever content that you're creating, and they feel like, okay, they know you, they like you, they trust you, you've built authority through posting This might be, you know, your 5th or 7th or 10th video that they've seen from you if it's videos, or 5th or 7th or 10 posts that they've seen from you if it's on Instagram, whatever platform it is. You have to CTA, call to action. You have to tell your audience what you want them to do. Okay, so that looks like, hey, if you're getting a lot of value out of this video, I would love to help you one-on-one. The link is down below to book a coaching session with me. So you guys check that out. I would love to help you. I'm really excited to hear from you. So go ahead and check that link out below. That's a CTA. You're being very clear about what the offer is. You are telling them where they need to go, where are the next instructions. So whether it's click the link below, or the link is in my bio, or go to this website, which it's easier to just give them the link because no one's going to remember your website link unless it's something really simple. But CTA, CTA, CTA. You're going to show up online and you're going to tell them about your offer as often as you can. Don't do it once and be like, it's not working. I don't have any clients. You have to keep showing up and telling them about your thing, because the first time you tell them about your thing, they're not going to do anything. The first time that you tell them about your offer, they're not going to move. They're not going to jump. They're not going to flinch. They're going to be like, oh, okay, that's nice. Next video. But now if they've been watching you for 5 videos, 6 videos, 10 videos, 30 videos, you know, they really like your content, they keep coming back and consuming your content. Now when you make the CTA, they might think, oh, well, what is that about? You know, I really like this person. What is that about, right? Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. Okay, lastly, you have to have a way to collect payment. Okay, so don't be like me and wait till the last minute to figure out how you're going to collect this payment. Okay, you only need 3 things to get started. 1, a platform to show up in, to shine your light and to become an authority. 2, you need to have a clear offer and start telling people about your offer in your videos. That's 3. Start telling people about your offer in your videos. Okay, so choose what platform you're going to show up on. Have a clear offer and price. You have to have a price. You have to slap a price tag on your offer or you're not going to get paid. Okay? And then lastly, you're going to have a way to collect payment. That's really all you need to be a coach. Okay, so let's talk about this. How do you collect payment? So when I first got started, I had no idea how to collect payment. So I just ended up using PayPal. And for me, it ended up working for a while. I think I utilized PayPal for about a year. Why I do not suggest using PayPal long term is because as you start making more and more money, they have the ability to shut down your account. Now, the reason why PayPal or other payment processors can and will shut down your account is if they feel like there is suspicious activity on your account, or you're making a lot of money really fast and they don't really know or understand what it is that you're doing or offering, and they need to verify that what you're doing is legitimate, right? Because they don't want people doing illegal things on their platform. So when you first get started, PayPal is a good option. As you continue to grow, I would suggest going to a different platform altogether. So for example, you can do a Stand store, right? You can do a Sam cart. You can create a whole website on Shopify. It doesn't really matter. I do not recommend you creating a whole website when you first get started. 1, because you don't know if you're going to be doing this long term. You don't know if coaching is really going to be for you. You just want to get your feet wet. You just want to get your first few customers. So I would suggest doing the landing page route, where you have a Stand store or Sam cart, or, you know, just a 1 page where you can explain what your offer is and collect the payment. That's really all you need. So whatever platform that you can choose, that just lets you create 1 page, nothing crazy, not a whole website, just 1 page describing what you do, and you already know what you do because it should be on that 1 page PDF that I told you to make with your offer on it. So you're just gonna copy and paste the offer from that PDF onto that 1 page landing page, okay? So again, you can do this really simple with Stand Store or Sam Cart. I think those are only like 20 bucks a month. I don't know, don't quote me because I don't use those platforms, but those are really affordable options to get started, okay? So all you need is a simple landing page or even just an email list, okay? If I were to start over from the beginning, I would have prioritized building and collecting emails, because you really don't need a website. You just need a way for people to contact you and to know what it is your offer is, and for them to click that link to pay you the money to get to fulfill the offer. Okay, so here's my last and final hack, my bonus hack. Okay, my bonus hack is, if you are somebody who really wants to be a life coach or really wants to get into coaching, but you feel like you don't have the confidence to do it right this second, I want you to start offering free sessions. Okay, don't clutch your pearls just yet. If you don't have confidence, and I know you must not have confidence because you might not have started yet, and that's okay. Everybody's got to start from zero. If you don't have clients yet and you don't have confidence, I want you to go on your platform that you choose, the one that you're showing up on consistently, and say, hey, I have a limited space. I'm offering free coaching sessions because I'm really trying to build out my offer, and I'm really trying to figure out how specifically I can help. So if you are interested in meeting one-on-one with me for free, a free 30-minute session, free 15-minute session, the link is going to be down below. I would definitely limit the amount of people who you allow to do this, because after your first maybe 3 to 5 free sessions, you're gonna be like, okay, I have an idea of what they need from me. I have an idea about how to structure this coaching session, so I don't need to do free sessions anymore. But if you are new to this and you don't feel confident in yourself, you build confidence through repetition. So go ahead and just offer that free session. Offer, you know, a few free sessions, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, just so you can get on the phone with people, get used to booking calls, so you can get used to structuring your conversation, so you get clear on what people repeatedly keep coming back to you for, and that's going to help you to fill out and build out your offer. Okay, super major hack. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wish when I began that I offered free sessions. Thankfully, people were just willing to pay me right off the bat. But guys, I had so much insecurity hopping onto these calls in the beginning, and I feel like if I had just started by offering free sessions to get my feet wet, I would feel way more confident, and you know, I think that would be really great for your clients. A lot of people are charging crazy amounts of money for coaching, and they have no experience with coaching. And so again, if you don't have confidence, 1, offer free sessions, and then 2, start low, right? In the beginning, I was only charging $100 for an hour session. Now, to somebody who's been in the game for like 5 years, you're like, oh my God, I would never. My base pay is $3,000 for a collection of sessions. That's fine. Do you? When you're first getting started, price it at something that makes you feel comfortable. I felt comfortable receiving $100 from somebody, even though I've never done this before, because I don't know, I felt confident enough that if you've been watching me on YouTube, and I don't know how long you've been watching me on YouTube, but clearly you see me as an authority, so I don't feel bad about charging you. If you're starting from scratch and you've never done this before, you're gonna feel a little bit icky about charging $500 for a session and you've never done it before, right? Because you don't know really how you can help somebody. You don't really have a proven strategy of what you can do to help. So again, this is just something that I suggest to help you to build up your confidence, and so that you can get a feel for how you're going to be structuring your coaching session. Hi, Editing Nija again. I want to say one last thing while it's on my mind. If you go the route of hosting free coaching sessions, get testimonials. Even if you are just now starting out as a new coach, get testimonials. What does that look like? After the session, you can ask the client, hey, if you enjoyed your session with me, would you consider writing me a review? Would you consider making a video telling me about your experience? Would you consider saying a few things about the session? If you don't feel confident or comfortable doing that, you can also wait until you know you've met with somebody several times, and you can say, hey, if this was helpful, can you write me a review? Would you mind writing me a testimonial? Testimonials are incredibly important because people want to spend their money where it feels safe, where it's trusted. And so building up that credibility looks like you asking your clients if they enjoy the service, please consider writing a review, so that again it just makes you look more credible. It doesn't look like, oh, you know, no one wants to spend money with you, right? And so even if you're doing a free session, ask for those testimonials. Sometimes the girls in Dream Life Academy will write how things are going in the academy. I screenshot those and I save them in a folder called testimonials and reviews. Sometimes one of my coaching clients will, you know, make a, I don't know, Instagram post talking about our session together, and I'll just ask them, hey, do you mind if I use this video as a testimonial?
Nija developed such a great work in YouTube, and she helps women to create a mindset of abundance, which improves their life, their finance, and also their relationships. So I really recommend her, and also as a life coach. She's actually a life coach, and so she does a great job in helping me to organize my life. Helps especially women to develop and connect with the mindset of abundance, which really improves our lives financially, in our relationships. And she's my life coach, actually, for real. I met her 2 years ago and she helped me a lot to organize my life, so I really recommend her as a life coach.
Hey, do you mind recording a quick 30-second video telling me about your experience? It just is really helpful and it's going to help you to look more credible as a coach. So highly suggest you guys get those testimonials, whether they email them to you, text them to you, whether they make a quick video for you. Testimonials are going to really help to propel your coaching career forward. So get those reviews and get those testimonials. There's one last thing that I want to share, guys. You are also going to want to have some type of booking system. This is just going to make it a lot easier instead of emailing your client back and forth when is a good time to work with you. If you set up a calendar on something like Calendly, also I think Zoom has its own booking system as well. You just need a way for them to quickly gain access to your calendar and pick what day and time works best for them. So I've used Calendly for a long time. I believe it is free to have your first link up there. So yeah, you can use Calendly, you can use any other software just to automate. Once they give you the money, once you receive your money, there should be a way to automatically send them your calendar so that you don't have to go back and forth. So wanted to add that in there as well. Get some type of booking system. You can look online, free booking systems or paid booking systems. But like I said, I've used Calendly for a long time and it works out perfectly. So check that out. Get a booking system. This is just going to help to streamline and automate everything for you, which is going to be amazing. Okay, so guys, that's a story about how I accidentally became a life coach, and those are my tips on how you can do the exact same thing. You don't need a coaching certification, you don't need a website, you don't need an email list. You know, you can get started right now. All you need is social media and to create an offer and to start telling people about your offer and have a way to collect payment. Alright guys, if you want my help on how you can structure your very own coaching business or get started in the life coaching community, I am here and willing to help you. You guys can look down below. There is my link to booking a coaching session. It's very affordable, I think, so get it while it's still affordable. If that is something that you're interested in, I would love to help you to start your coaching business or just answer any questions that you might have. Look over your session, look over your coaching calls so that you can start offering sessions yourself and you can become a life coach as well. Or if you don't necessarily want to book a session but you still want to be in a community full of awakened women on a mission to create their dream life, you should join Dream Life Academy. We do lots of things in there every single month. The girls can directly message me and ask me questions or create posts so that I can answer their questions, and we've got lots of courses and things in there to help you to create your dream life. So you guys should check that out. You can either coach with me or join Dream Life Academy, whatever works best for you. Alright guys, my name is Nija Sym. I help awakened women create their dream life. I really hope that this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up and ask your questions in the comments. I would be happy to make another video answering your questions pertaining to how to become a life coach. Alright guys, I'll see you in my next video.